even if it's like 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever. Get into the grand final, and that's the week where it really matters.
It is about getting into the grand final. Dignitas got in 1 game ago. Unique will join them now. Dignitas got 3rd on their first game. Will Unique do the same? Will other teams take a page out of Heroic's book and get themselves a chicken dinner? Let's find out as we head to the cast with Matchroom and the Kamadi.
PGC 2021 brought to you by Alienware and Toomey, and here we are back on Miramar, Cam.
Yeah, here we are. This time playing a little far to the north, but still shouldn't be too much of an issue. Unique being brought into the lobby. Excited to see what they can do. Bit hit or miss for this squad. Understandable for a team that is coming in and basically virtually the dead middle of weekly survival from the bottom 6, from their own bottom 16 run. But still, you can never count them out. The devs were just talking about teams that were expected to do well aren't really showing up as much. Teams that were sort of dark horses are showing up more than we expected. This is still, there's still so much to be decided for this entire tournament, not to mention this weekly survival that we're in the middle of right now.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a lot of modification. That's one of the things I love about watching international events in general, is just watching the different regional metas clash. But whenever we look at PUBG, it's so much more extreme, because instead of like, you know, and usually like whenever you're looking like 4v4, 5v5, 6v6 style games, you know, it's like one team from this region, another team from this region. That's not the way it works here. It's all the regions just instantly being thrown together, and then now having to remodify based off of all of the different metas, the macro movements, all that other stuff. And it's really cool to see how it all plays out.
KPI and Benjagor Road both want Tiara Bongo.
At least a halfway decent amount of loot. Question comes in: how efficient is this opening push going to be? Are we going to be able to see one of these teams be able to pick one up? And it's going to be Capitan off the start. How do they keep getting away with it, Cam?
Absolutely sick. Immediately finds the head, and now he's on the roof. He's going to go for more. Can't get the second. So at least Petrogor have that to work with. But now, Captain almost spotted up the lurker on the stairs. So KPI putting up a lot bigger of a defense than you would have expected. I
mean, just so well played. Instantly looks back down, gets a little bit of damage into it. Now Emmy is coming into this one. So let's see how the little bit of a back position coming in. Capitan's got the vision in, gets the knock onto another one. Can the support come in off the high ground point of this one? He's creeping down off of it. Mill, now the last one up for Petrichor, as it's going to be Draft King that gets a knock onto another one. Petrichor Road, I mean, they came in being a strong favorite into this one, and 2 members of KPI are just ripping them up.
Oh man, this absolute sick hold by KPI. They had the man disadvantage, but the backup came just in time on the right angles as well. But Mill, what can he post up as a defense? Knows he's basically committed into this fight, trying to get at least a little bit of damage on KPI, make sure that they go out with them. Good grenade. Looked like it was almost perfectly well, but he's being cornered.
Yeah, I mean, he's caught out. Mill's doing a great job on just trying to survive, but here's the cook grenades coming through. Good read on at least acknowledging that those should be coming in any given moment. Now it's just a double up in numbers. Mill, though, has himself an angle that is very strong. Look, coming up big right now on Near on No Life. Switches over to the SMG, bringing the Vector off the side angle. Tries to go for it, but no. In the end, while it is the smell of rain that team looks for, unfortunately, Miramar doesn't have too much of it.
Yeah.
Position coming out from Space Station Gaming has the capability to pay off in a huge way, but Ghibli now running right into this. We're starting to get to that stage, Cam, that there is just too many firefights.
Oh, Unique are now being blocked in by SSG. Sharpshot finds the angle on Faultlessly. But now Dante's far angle for Unique needs to come in right now, needs to try and alleviate some of the pressure, but Sharpshot is here as well to keep him pinned in. And you get SSG are playing this so smart. They're not over-aggressing on it. They're just making sure that Unique cannot peek out any angle comfortably. But Roth takes a little bit of damage from Doozy, forced to fall away. And as you said, there are fights happening everywhere because we have an entirely different engagement happening in the feed in the bottom right. But Keenan and Roth both got knocked.
Space Station Gaming felt like they had the point to play from, and God, that got punished real fast. They have to be cautious now. They do have a little bit of time to kind of reset, reposition around what's going on. Unique only has 1 member up, and it's going to be Dante, who is already been spotted out. So now it comes down to how we see. Nope, don't shoot that way. There you go. That's the way you want to shoot.
Oh God.
Yeah, I had a moment like, please don't do that. You guys have a strong point. Don't cost yourself somebody.
If SSG get the revives, they can have 4 into the late game, and we know how important that is. So please, just clean up Dante. Go for the revives. Good crawl inside the door just in time. In fact, he's going to carry his teammate even further away, knowing that you, Dante, had the lineup.
Approaches in, because really, this is all just about this hillside fight, and that's why you see so many people trying to lean into it, get the cover, get the angles, as Oath is trying to do right now.
Oath, oh god, they're having to manage their spacing right now because there's multiple angles of people looking on this game home, and now it's 17. Xiaobei even has a high ground angle to throw some grenades on top of them. Oath still have 4 up though. They have an opportunity to break out of this, especially with the circle forcing game home to leave that compound there. But oh, grenade used to. Oh no, that was another one.
Careful with it. Lines up. I mean, look at this angle to work with. Gets the vision into it. It's going to be able to pick up a second one. Oath, you have near on no options. Good spray back into it. At least force him away into this one. Got to be careful of the Molotov. Continual follow-up grenades landing right on top of them. Good now. It's going to be 17 that just makes that look pretty clean and efficient. Ghibli, though, now making a move of their own, pushing along this line, knows where 17 Gaming is, heard that firefight, and Team Liquid is very close to here as well.
Genji taking some shots. Stay Liquid, it's only Mixie left. And now he recognizes that as the team on his back. He's going to pull out some great maneuvers to try and 1 versus 4. He's clutched out some plays before. But I don't know if the entirety of Ghibli, plus even a few members of 17, depending on how they rotate, is going to be doable, it's going to be possible. Has a first aid kit to get back up to relatively full HP. And now Inox has been fully confirmed as well. Esther dropped by Trash King.
This is an important point. Where we see KPI playing, they have a ton of vision on what's going to be happening. You can see already aware of where Genji is, and that's about half a circle away. So that's why you see them repositioning, making sure to use these dips, these hillsides to get more of an advantage. Ghibli does now have a position to play from, but 17 is going to be pretty close to it. Now, New Happy did get to the top of this hillside, but it's kind of like them and KPI working together with it. Ghibli has to be very cautious of 17's approach as they're coming into this one, though. But with the high ground advantage and the distraction that is now being provided by 17, Genji is now coming in, trying to make a little bit of a gatekeeping position of their own. Ghibli, while is pinched, they do have the numbers to at least put 2 and 2 against both sides of what's going on. They have to be cautious. If they move in too quickly, they could find themselves very wrapped on right back behind it by both of these teams.
Not to mention Game Home might have an angle, KPI might have an angle. Oh, Asura and Esther playing it slow, playing it safe, playing it sneaky. And yeah, they're going to try and just clean up this engagement of Ghibli pushing onto 17, because Ghibli know that 17 are in the worst position here, trying to go along this hill. A lot of utility in there. Good shots by Sylphie.
Now, there is the opportunity to push up the hillside, looking and gets another knock into it. He does go down. Now 1 up for 17, but an amazing play off of a desperate situation. Now, Ghibli has a big problem on their hands. New circle has popped. It's still to the north. They're going to have to move yet again. Genji is along this line, and now 1 member is still up for 17 Gaming. Firefight is still going on between Space Station Gaming over here, as well as VP. We did see the fact that SONIQS moved to the north. The last member up, Dante for Unique, is still around here as well, but all of this is going to have to move. VP is now repositioned away from it, but remember, there is still the high ground positioning coming up for New Happy.
Yeah, New Happy there. Pretty comfortable with their positions just on the southern edge. They need to focus on VP and even Dante, who's shooting at them from the south side. And oh, Suju, no clue that Genji was there. Had to just make a run away from the blue. And now 2 Korean players on the southeast side. And also VP, having kept the SSG pinned in onto this building, can control the pacing of this engagement.
Perfectix has a beautiful sight line into this one, but doesn't want to overstep it. But Dante comes up, takes down Batulins, and that's going to be a big distraction. Now, how are we going to see VP respond to this when they have to be careful? They know the fact that Space Station Gaming is in front of them, but they don't know how big of a threat is coming up back behind them. While this is going on, it looks like Genji is also making a move. They did hear Dante take these shots, so it looks like they might be going for a press into it. No! Virtus Pro is pulled apart from multiple angles. Dante coming up big, but now it's going to be Genji to take down Dante. Genji continuing to press in, but has to be cautious as it is going to be right next to another sight line coming in, and Space Station Gaming take them down.
SSG still have 3 up. That's absolutely huge. It looked like they were in such a rough position, but now with 3 players up, they can put an actual solid defense, a solid attempt here in the game. There are still 7 teams remaining, however, and quite a few of them are very, very healthy with their man count. DIGNITAS and SONIQS to the north, KPI, New Happy in the middle, Game Home even on the east side. This is still anyone's game.
Yeah, I mean, Dignitas is trying to get more control inside of this and has spotted out SONIQS down here. Looking through, they have to be a little bit careful that this is kind of its own contained
Oh!
fight, but the nades is what I was worried about. H-Win lands it right on top of Shinboy. So with the reposition away, there's just 2 members up to contest against all the SONIQS members. I like this. Shift back down the hillside, see if you see anybody repositioning around it. Now go for a little bit of a flank point onto it, and it's just a good read. With everything that's going on, Dignitas is very caught up and looking at what's going on with the 3-man push on this one. Space Station Gaming, though, has to contend with Ghibli on a different angle from this one. Ghibli and right up against the blue zone, but Keenan gets in a lot of damage at a pivotal moment to work with. Keenan, though, now has to be very, very cautious, has taken a lot of damage. Sharpshot is trying to spread a little bit of utility in what's going on, but you can see the blue zones are just stacked up. It's going to be KPI that gets vision on what's going on with Ghibli instead and takes them down. Dignitas still caught in the fight with SONIQS, forcing them up against the wall, but Space Station Gaming with limited options to make their way into the safe zone now has to contest against New Happy and KPI.
Circle relatively center, great for Dignitas if they weren't already wounded. And also, New Happy, once they can clear up SSG, assuming they can clear up SSG and KPI can overlook this position. But they already had, HS going down is huge. New Happy, they had a position of control potentially, but they haven't been able to manage it. Too many players coming into their position, but Sharpshot, the last remaining member for SSG, posting up a defense. He's gonna get taken out by Zipian, who now have the freedom to spray down into KPI.
KPI is trying to make some use out of this one, but with everything that's going on, New Happy has started to kind of look back down in their direction. They also have Game Home on the other side, pinched between the 2 of them. While this is going on, the Dignitas and SONIQS fight did slow down a lot, and now Dignitas has moved directly into the center, and good knock onto that one, and that was almost disaster, and that would have instantly wiped out New Happy. Ming just narrowly avoiding it.
Jan just got picked up. So that could have been the kill if it was only a few seconds earlier. But either way, that's still going to keep New Happy from being able to really post up a defense, despite only being down to 2. Molotov comes in. That could be... Oh, no. He's just past them. Finding the right arc is a little difficult, but this is KPI still getting closer and closer. But they can't rush it too aggressively because they should know that Game Home is going to be backfilling them.
They have to make a decision. One of these 2 teams they have to go after, and they have to contest for this point. Game Home has to make a move into this one, whereas New Happy is a little bit more comfortable. Hearing the little bit of throwables that were coming into New Happy's position, I think that SONIQS might be also vying for that spot as well. Game Home, though, I mean, I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to do this. Looks like they're going to lean into where Sylphie is playing from so they can use this little bit of a trench to make their way through it, but that's just going to open them up immediately to Emmy's positioning. I like the fact that, KPI has already said, okay, they're going to go down this trench, they're going to move into it, and that's where we're going to find the opportunity with them. Ming, though, has to be cautious, looks down into SONIQS and gets the drop onto one of them while Emmy does take down Sylphie.
And now Mime is also down as well, so great time. As lucky of a timing as it is for New Happy. Revive's a little difficult. It's just fights breaking out. Suddenly, Game Home is eliminated. SONIQS are very close to that. Dignitas still 3 up, and it's wounded teams walking everywhere.
Dignitas has a ton of control and is making sure to use it. They've got the high ground, and they're pushing KPI back closer into this New Happy position as where SONIQS is playing at. Now, KPI has to run away from it. Sparking gets vision on now. It's just Sills and cresting up the hillside as Ming is trying to go for a res yet again. SONIQS trying to reset on this one. Do manage to get the res of their own, but it's going to be more throwables coming up. New Happy just gets walked up on. It's going to be a combination of multiple teams going after it. Dignitas is Sparking now looking up the hillside, has to be very, very cautious off of everything that's going to be going on. They do have a control over this one. They do have the circle, but it's going to be a very strong SONIQS that has to make a move for this one. They should be able to get the res, but Silzen in his position could be big. Yeah, by Puna just stepping away from it, saying, I don't like this. He could pop up, has too many angles, so let's step away and force it into more of a fight that I want to take.
Even just this engagement is keeping Dignitas distracted for enough time for SONIQS to possibly post up a defense. But Sparking, the backup is here. A lot of damage back and forth, but Silzen does finally go down. It is finally SONIQS versus Dignitas. So Sparking's going to have to heal up just a little bit. And how much room, how much space has SONIQS been able to claim in the meantime?
Not much. They're still right up against the zone wall. We're at the stage where it's going to be coming in any moment now, so it's going to be Dignitas that has a good high ground point to play from. They only have 3 members, but they are right next to the center dot where everything's going to be collapsing. The question comes in, how are they going to make the play around this? You can see that they are heavily leaning into the south and that's going to be Sparking's position. He's trying to find the angle to play from, but SONIQS are doing a good job of just not revealing themselves. The amount of smokes that they're capable of putting down. No! That is big moment.
No.
H1 connects with another grenade, and a big time Honey Badger now down. That means the fact that it is a double up in numbers in SONIQS' favor, while Dignitas has control of the compound. It is going to be Sparking that gets it down onto Shrimzy, but can he shift away from this one? And can he get another one? It is a literal uphill battle coming up from SONIQS, and they cannot find all of the opportunities. Now just down to 2. H1 looking up into this one and has to try to navigate it. Punage on the other side. Can he connect with another big nade again? Or is it going to come up in Dignitas' favor? Everything is now slowed down as it's going to be Sparking on this high ground with so much vision. H1 now the last one up, looking up into this one, has an idea where Sparking is. Can he connect? No, in the end, Dignitas find the win.
That was a 4 versus 2. Turned to a 3 versus 2. Back into Dignitas' favor because they got the revive. Sparking on that high ground. He didn't do as much damage as he potentially could have, but he still got a knock. He still did enough damage to allow Honey Badger to get revived. And now SONIQS on the low ground. Didn't have any more room to work with. Huge clutch there. And look, already he's celebrating the win with multiple jerseys in his pocket.
That is so well earned coming up from Dignitas. I mean, that was a strong fight at the end of it, and you can see just these guys are so happy. Often said specifically that this could be the potential of what the Americas region could be, bringing in some Latin American players, bringing in some North American players. But I know there is so much to dive into on this game. Toffees, let us know what you saw.
Can you dig it? Dignitas comes out with a massive win, and they had to fight tooth and nail for it. It got a little sketchy for a second there, Chug. SONIQS had 4 up. Dignitas